Well, the Minnesota Timberwolves didn't land their big fish at the trade deadline, but they did land Ayo Dosunmu, and there's a chance he could plug a bunch of different holes for this Wolves team and be the high quality depth piece that they really needed. We're talking about a guy averaging 15 points, 3 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game in under 27 minutes. A guy who fits Minnesota's need for size, strength, and versatility in their guard stable, and a player who is shooting 45% from deep on just over 4 attempts per game. Most importantly though, we're talking about a player who should just straight up fit with what Minnesota needs and wants. Now I think when you see his numbers, when you glance over the box scores, you see the shooting from 3. 4.3 attempts a night isn't the kind of volume that makes him one of the best shooters in the league, but that 45.1% accuracy makes him one of the deadliest medium-level volume guys around. I actually don't think this is where his added value is going to be the highest for Minnesota, but that doesn't mean being able to convert on catch and shoot looks isn't an extremely valuable and translatable skill set. Mainly because good shooters thrive next to gravity creators. Playing next to Nikola Vucevic, who does draw these helpers toward him and away from Ayo, created a bunch of open looks for Dosunmu. Whether it's across the court there as an outlet when the defense is collapsing, or one pass away when defenders are digging in at Vucevic's post-ups, Dosunmu seems like he's hit the point where these shots are super reliable. For a role player, especially one that you'd hope can feature in big playoff minutes, being able to elevate other high usage players with spot up threes is pretty much a necessity nowadays. And he's coming into Minnesota with the hope that he fits that mold perfectly, especially when you consider the usage and role of someone like Julius Randle and how he plays within Minnesota's offense. What Randle does better than anybody on this Wolves team, and probably his most valuable trait, is forcing these defenders to gravitate toward him and then finding the open players around the perimeter. It doesn't always look pretty, but that's Randle's superpower in this offense. If Minnesota are adding another shooter into their mix to take advantage of those bodies surrounding his drives and post-ups, it's going to be really beneficial for them. In Chicago, Vucevic averaged 2.7 assists to 3-point shooters per game, but in Minnesota, Randle is averaging 4.4 of them. That's a big upgrade over an already good passing big, and even if Dosunmu regresses closer to the mean as a shooter, he's going to provide Randle with another shooting partner that he needs. Like, seriously, he doesn't have to shoot 45% to be valuable to Randle. If Dosunmu's minutes are coming at the expense of some or all of Jalen Clark's, some or all of Mike Conley's, and obviously all of Rob Dillingham's, those are guys who have been bad shooters who have made Randle's whirling kickouts worth a lot less when they play. Even a slightly worse version of Dosunmu is a massive upgrade over those guys as outlet shooters. And you can apply that same logic to Anthony Edwards as well, who's obviously an even more important aspect of Minnesota's offensive structure. We know Ant wants to get downhill and score first and foremost, but that works best when you have shooters around him to either space the floor or make shots when he needs them to. Like Randle, he's going to draw all of this attention on his drives, and dotting shooters around him turns that from a hindrance to an offensive weapon. Dosunmu is that weapon. He's played with better playmakers than Ant before, but he's never played with anyone who creates space for his teammates consistently like Ant does. You can already imagine this kind of defensive picture around Edwards, with Dosunmu in the corner knocking down that wide open look. Or you can imagine Ant forcing a defense to cave in on itself in transition like this, and having Dosunmu there as a great bailout 3-ball option. Just like Randle, these shots are going to be there for him with Edwards, and Minnesota are going to trust him more than their previous options to knock them down. What he gets from Ant though is a player next to him who commands legit double teams. Not help defenders sliding over and defenses rotating. We're talking multiple players bracketing Anthony Edwards and taking the ball out of his hands. This will create open threes, whether it's coming straight off the pass from Ant or as the ball swings around and Minnesota try to find the advantage shooter. In these situations, they needed another shooter like Dosunmu. But just as crucially, they really need someone who can put the ball on the deck and create some rim pressure out of them. This is where Dosunmu is so important to Minnesota going forward. When the defense is shifted across on Edwards, can he use this closeout against the defender and get to the rim off the bounce? There are very few players on this team who can, and Dosunmu seems like he just became one of them. Being able to turn a bent defense into more than just a 3-point shot is such a massive weapon in general, but especially next to someone who does the bending of defenses like Edwards does. And I'm excited to see if Dosunmu can bring that to Minnesota. He's really fast, he's good in tight spaces, he wants to get to the rim, and he finishes well at his size. As you can see here, he's coming in as easily the most high volume, high efficiency scorer on drives behind Edwards this season, while still being an adequate playmaker in those situations. And while the volume is sure to go down playing alongside other high usage guys like Edwards and Randle and even McDaniels and Naz Reid, he should get more room to operate when he is attacking off the catch. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be a helpful piece alongside the most important pillars of this Wolves team. But the question is, what can he do separate from those guys? How can he help the offense function when he's toggling into more of a lead guard role himself? Well, it kind of shocked me to see that this season, he's been the ball handler in 2.9 pick and roll scoring possessions a game, which is about a 70th percentile frequency, and he's scoring 0.99 points per possession, which ranks in the 83rd percentile. Again, that right away makes him the second best pick and roll ball handler on a roster that really needed another one. You can see his subtle changes of pace and his strength with his finishing on the pick and roll film, where he seems capable of both eating up this space given to him against drop coverage while still being able to finish over big rim protectors, or reject screens and blow by defenders with that quick burst of speed that he has, which again is a rarity on Minnesota's roster, or use that same burst to just burn switches. And while I wouldn't say he's anywhere near a legit offensive engine with his playmaking or his scoring out of pick and roll, he's pretty capable of playing the pocket with his big man, making the right reads coming off a ball screen, or floating passes over to rollers if the defense puts two on him off a pick. Again, he's not a savant level passer by any means, but like most of his game, he's super functional, very technically correct, and capable of making the right decisions on a pretty consistent basis. For Minnesota, who lack ball handlers, lack off the dribble scorers from the guard spot, and sometimes just lack steady high IQ players, I think there's a chance Dosunmu comes in and feels like a breath of fresh air for their guard rotation. Now to me, he's almost a seamless fit offensively. I haven't even mentioned that he's a genuine weapon in transition. He wants to run relentlessly offensively. Whether it's on actual fast breaks, or whether it's turning these semi-transition chances where the defense is back here but not quite set into easy points at the rim, he wants to live in the open court as much as he possibly can. I'll be interested to see if he's someone who just thrives in a fast-paced team like Chicago, or if he's someone who actually sparks pace and can put some gas into Minnesota's slow-paced team. It's always hard to judge that from team to team, but this is a player who is averaging 4.4 transition scoring opportunities per game, which ranks in the 94th percentile league-wide, so there's definitely evidence there that he's a pocket rocket in the open floor. With his defense, frankly, I need to see more of it for longer, and I need to see it in Minnesota's system, surrounded by guys like Rudy Gobert and Jaden McDaniels. I think then we will know some more about why his reputation and numbers are so up and down throughout his career on that end of the floor. But I think Minnesota has got a good one on their hands because of the offensive versatility and fit with this team, regardless of really what he does defensively. If he's able to find some consistency and some of that defensive edge that he was known for more early in his career, Minnesota are going to have one of the steals of the trade deadline. And for a pretty low price, getting a player who both makes sense now on a team looking to compete and in the future if they can tie him down this offseason, well then there's not a whole lot more you can ask for from a trade deadline acquisition. If you want more breakdowns like this one, subscribe to Howls and Growls and drop a like or a comment to help the channel grow. Thanks again for watching.